Out of the corner of her eye, she noticed someone coming out of the elevator. Thankfully, she was wearing the clothes of a hotel attendant, so Cheryl walked past her without even looking. She dashed to a nearby staircase and began to climb. It took almost no effort to reach the top floor, and she soon found a suspicious-looking room. There were 2 tall, black-clothed men standing at the door. At that moment, a waiter pushed a food trolley past her. She strode forward and snatched the trolley. "Let me do it." "But..." The waiter wanted to say more, but she cut him off. "It's okay, we're colleagues. We have to help each other out. You look tired. You probably haven't had a good rest in a while. Just take this opportunity to have a break, okay?" Natalie pushed the trolley toward the room with the guards. It was very quiet inside. Natalie looked around, but she didn't see Liam. Suddenly, she heard the sound of water splashing, and she turned to look at the bathroom. The door was frosted glass, and she could vaguely see a tall figure on the other side. She was in the wrong room, and there was someone here. She turned around to leave, but in her hurry, she didn't pay attention to where she was going, and she bumped into the trolley. Bryce closed his eyes and let the warm water spray over his body. Suddenly, he heard the sound of something crashing to the floor. His eyes opened in shock, and he quickly turned off the shower. With a cold expression, he pulled a towel around his waist and strode out. "You really don't know how to give up." Bryce looked down at her condescendingly. His black eyes were deep and frightening. Natalie tilted her head and gritted her teeth. Then she took a deep breath and faced him with a calm smile on her face. "What a coincidence." "Yes, what a coincidence." Natalie got up and stood straight. "If I told you this was an accident, would you believe me?" "An accident? Do you really think I'd believe you?" Natalie swallowed, her heart beating fast. He said this as he stepped closer to her. She backed away again. "I'm not lying. This was an accident. I thought Liam was here. I came to find him." Bryce chuckled, and then immediately stopped. His expression turned sullen. "Do you think I believe that?" Sensing that he was getting angrier and angrier, Natalie realized the danger she was in and turned around to escape. But he was faster. He reached out his long arms, grabbed her waist, and pulled her closer to him. "Let me go." She gave up struggling and glared at him. "What are you trying to do?" "What? Are you trying to..." "Isn't that why you came here?" As he spoke, a scorching hot breath gushed onto her neck, causing Natalie's body to stiffen. Terrified, Natalie shouted at him, "I don't care what you think. Get off me!" With these words, she ran away. Bryce sat up on the bed. His dark eyes were now frighteningly black. With this in mind, he got up, walked to the door, and opened it. The moment the bodyguards outside saw him, they lowered their heads respectfully. "Mr. Clare, did you see the woman who just ran out?" The bodyguards looked at each other and replied in unison, "Yes, very good. Go and get her for me." Natalie ran out of the room and down the stairs. After taking a few deep breaths and calming herself down, she walked out of the stairwell. Suddenly, she bumped into Susan, who had been showing her around the hotel. "Why were you in the bathroom so long?" This hotel is so big, I got lost. I've been looking for a long time, but I couldn't find you. I'm really sorry." "It's best if you don't wander around. If you offend an important guest, that would be bad, especially the guests in the presidential suite. Even the manager has to be careful when he sees them." The corner of Natalie's mouth twitched. Susan's advice had come too late. "Let's go. I'll help you learn your way around the hotel so you won't get lost again." At this, Natalie came to her senses and responded with a small smile. At least she had managed to get a hint of where Liam might be held captive. She would do everything she could to get him back. Susan walked for a while and then realized that Natalie was not following her. "Natalie, what are you doing?" Natalie pulled herself from her thoughts and ran to catch up with her. Bryce's bodyguards quickly discovered Natalie's identity. "Mr. Clare, that woman is a new employee at the hotel." At that moment, the sound of something falling came from the room next door, interrupting his thoughts. Bryce squinted in annoyance, then said in a deep voice, "Go see what's going on." The bodyguards left hurriedly. He went to the next room and knocked loudly on the door. "What's going on in your room? Can't you be quiet? You've already irritated the people next door, causing a ruckus." "Sorry, it's a child making a fuss. Don't worry, I'll calm him down soon." "Well, hurry up." With that, the bodyguard turned around and was about to leave when a childish voice came from inside the room. "Let me out!"
You meanies! I hope my dad teaches you guys a lesson!
The people next door were still being noisy, and Bryce was very impatient. So eventually, he came out personally to see what was going on. What's going on? A child is throwing a tantrum. Bryce knocked on the door, and when the man opened it again, he said, "Who's in there?" The man was caught off guard and retreated a few steps. Another man in the room immediately rushed over. Seeing that he was about to hit their boss, Bryce's bodyguards quickly went up to him and blocked his path. "Why'd you do that? What do you want?" shouted the first man angrily. Bryce didn't even look at him as he walked into the room and scanned it with a cold gaze. Everything inside was smashed and scattered all over the floor. Liam jumped off the sofa and ran toward him. He grabbed Bryce's leg, raised his cute, innocent face, and looked at him with bright eyes.
Dad, you're here to save me, right?
Bryce looked at him. Unlike his mother, this child was rather pleasing to look at. He turned around and looked at the two men who were being blocked by his bodyguards, and his gaze darkened. So he bent over and picked the boy up. "Liam, tell me, what's going on?"
Hi, I am Natalie. Want to know my story? Then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of The Return Now.